election results are rolling in tonight, and to start things off, Sarah Huckabee Sanders in line to become the next governor of Arkansas. Her Republican primary already called tonight. She is the winner.
And on the Democratic side of the governor's race, Chris Jones making history tonight, becoming the first African-American man nominated for governor in the state of Arkansas. So Huckabee, Sanders, and Jones will meet up on the ballot come November.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Donna Terrell.
I'm Kevin Kelly. 2 weeks of early voting wrapped up Monday with more than 200,000 ballots cast, according to the Secretary of State's office. And today, as many of you know, thousands more hit the polls as candidates and their supporters greeted them with a wave, a smile, and of course plenty of signs asking for their vote.
And in Northwest Arkansas, a power outage created a challenge for voters there, leaving them to cast their ballots in the dark. Fayetteville, they used flashlights to make it easier for them to make their marks on the ballots. But we are told the equipment still functioned even without electricity.
The election, not the only top story we are following closely tonight. We're also continuing to follow the breaking news from Southwest Texas, where 18 students and 2 adults were killed today at Robb Elementary School. That's about an hour and a half away from San Antonio. Coming up later in the next half hour, we'll have reaction from the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, along with President Joe Biden, and the latest on what law enforcement have learned so far about the 18-year-old shooter who was also shot and killed today. But first, we continue with our election coverage. We have Republican analyst Bill Vickery and Democratic analyst Grant Tennille on hand. They will join us shortly to give us their perspective on some of tonight's biggest races. We'll also get the reaction to some of the historic moments being made tonight right here in the state of Arkansas.
Okay, well, we talked about the governor's race. We'll be talking about that more tonight. We're also following several other key races. Lieutenant governor for Arkansas, and we're keeping an eye on the federal level as well, watching the U.S. Senate and U.S. congressional races.
We have team coverage for you this evening all across central Arkansas on all of the races. Katrin Asaf and Jessica Rain covering the governor's race. Troy Lynch will join us and bring us up to speed on the lieutenant governor's race.
And later we'll hear from Andrew Epperson and Neil Zarang, who are covering our U.S. Senate races. But first, we will check in with Katrin Asaf, who is at Sarah Huckabee Sanders' watch party. Katrin, she spoke just a moment ago. She's gone from the White House to the natural state, and it looks like she's now on the November ballot. And the first female, could possibly, I should say, become the first female governor.
Yeah, absolutely, Donna. Kevin, you can just hear the energy in the room today. Believe it or not, things actually cleared out a little bit in just the few moments that Sarah Huckabee Sanders finished her speech, and now this room was actually packed. It is still very full of supporters who are here to support Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Now, she did get up on the podium. She thanked her supporters, her family, who has stood with her through this from the beginning when she first announced that she was running, all the way up until today, when she actually got that Republican nominee for governor of Arkansas and will go against Chris Jones in the general election. Now, in the speech, she mentioned how education is going to be a big issue for her to focus on if she is elected governor. She said she wants to make Arkansas the #1 state in a number of different things where Arkansas is falling behind in. And she did actually bring up that tragedy in Texas. She weaved it into her speech today, saying that she feels that all children need to be protected, and then said that she wanted to make Arkansas the most pro-life state, and herself a pro-life governor. So that is everything that Sarah Huckabee Sanders said today. Just a good energy, and of course we're going to continue to keep you updated as she begins her campaign now for governor of Arkansas. Reporting in West Little Rock, Katrin Asaf, back to you.
All right, Katrin, and you know it's been a crowded race to find out who will take the top spot on the Democratic side of the governor's race. As we mentioned earlier, Chris Jones is he's definitely secured his spot come November.
That is true. We continue our team coverage now with Jessica Rankin. Jessica, when the polls opened, Chris Jones came out flying and really never looked back. AP declaring him the winner tonight, and as a result, making history in the process as the first African-American candidate to be nominated for governor. I would imagine his camp is feeling pretty good at this hour.
Yeah, Kevin, and he definitely did mention that in his speech tonight, talking about history being made and could possibly be made when we hit that general election in November, either being the first African-American governor or if Sarah were to win, the first woman. Now, we just got done with his victory speech just a few minutes ago. Just as Sarah Huckabee Sanders had, Chris Jones also did mention that tragedy that happened in Texas, taking a moment of silence before he even started speaking this evening. Then he went on to go ahead and thank his supporters for all of the work they have done throughout this primary election. Of course, now eyes turn to the general election in November. Jones talked a lot about his campaign strategy that he's been running on PB&J, focusing on preschool, broadband, and higher paying jobs. So definitely something to look forward to as we head in and get closer to November. But Donna, Kevin, we'll go ahead and send things back to you.
They're having a good time at the Chris Jones camp, understandably so. Several Republican candidates are running to replace Tim Griffin as Lieutenant Governor of Arkansas. In fact, there are 6 candidates. Some of the names are very familiar, including sitting Surgeon General Dr. Greg Bledsoe, State Senator Jason Rapert, and current Attorney General Leslie Rutledge.
And that's exactly where we want to go. Troy Lynch live at Rutledge's watch party in Little Rock. Some have said that this could be the race where we have a runoff. We're still watching it closely, though, just to see what happened. Troy.
Yeah, Donna, Kevin, this is the election to watch right here. The race for lieutenant governor has been an interesting one. Of course, Leslie Rutledge came in as the favorite, and it looks like we're actually going to get a treat right now. She's leading in the poll by 52%. So now we're going to step aside and see what happens next.
142,000 votes counted. The Attorney General's at 54.4%. And the next one behind her is Jason Rapert at 14.1. Don't go anywhere. Thank you.
It's obviously a very exciting moment here at the hotel that the watch party is. So I'm going to toss it over to Andrew Epperson because I believe Senator Boozman is about to speak. Andrew?
Yeah, hey Troy, we are here at the watch party for sitting Senator U.S. Senator John Boozman, and the Associated Press is reporting that Boozman will win this election. He's expected to speak here at any moment, but as you can see, people are starting to gather here at the Embassy Suites. It's right across the hallway from where Sarah Huckabee Sanders had her watch party. We're just waiting for him to walk in now. Looks like we're starting to see some supporters, some campaign workers over here, people filling the room here at Embassy Suites. I've been told that he should be coming in 20 seconds. You saw right there, 20 seconds he's going to be walking in. So we can hold it here until then and see the beginning of that if we would like to. I'm listening in for if we want to switch off. But he should be coming in here at any second. A lot of these folks were here at Sanders' watch party just across the way, but now they're filing into some of these other rooms. French Hill was right next door to us. And then, of course, right here is where John Boozman was. He faced several challengers for the Republican primary, notably Jake Beckett, Jan Morgan. And then the question started to become, after counties started to report their numbers, will he cross the 50% threshold? And at last check, he looks to be in good shape for that. And of course, the Associated Press calling the race for him at this point. Campaign manager just walked up to check the mic. We're starting to see some people gathered outside this room here as we speak. People have their phones out. They're ready to capture this moment. Many of these people have been with Senator Boozman throughout the campaign. So at this point, we're just waiting for him to come through. I'll just even step out of the way here for a second. Hopefully not step in front of too many phones. But you can see right here what the room looks like. We got our photojournalist Cole Clevenger here. People taking pictures there. This is the excitement of the moment for a lot of these folks here. And there he is. I'm just going to go ahead and put my mic up there as well.
Got all kinds of mics.
All right, let's go!
So is that a hint? Very much. Well, tonight I'm so grateful and so proud. I've won the support of my party, which is absolutely wonderful. As always, my goal is to listen and learn from all Arkansans and work my tail off for them in the Senate of the United States. Let's dream a big dream together for Arkansas and America. This moment right here reminds me of spring football practice. Back in the old days, we used to have 20 days of practice, 20 days in pads. You were trying to make the varsity, you were trying to make the first team, and it was brutal. Every day after practice, we'd run and check the board in the conference room to see your status, to see if you were first team, second team, third team. And during that time, the competition was tough. But once the team was set, there'd be a big change. Suddenly, we weren't competing against each other. We were competing together for the team. In the middle of this election year, I can't wait for the team to set in races all over the country so we can get together to fight for what's best for America. We've got a huge problem out there, inflation.
And there you have it, Senator John Boozman winning his party's nomination. He will go on to the big race in November. I am joined now by our political analyst, Republican Bill Vickery, and chairman of the Arkansas Democratic Party, Grant Tennille. Thank you both for being here. Are you surprised Jake Beckett didn't do better in this race?
Well, that was the story. That was the idea, is that nationally and inside the Beltway, the talk was, will John Boozman win without a runoff? Can he win without a runoff? Does Jake Beckett have the financial support? Is the messaging is there? It was a real show of force from both President Trump, who endorsed Senator Boozman, Sarah Huckabee, who knows him very well, Tom Cotton, who serves as his colleague. They all got behind to do ads, and at the end of the day, that proved to be too much for for the group of challengers. And so John Boozman wins without a runoff, and one of the big questions actually in American politics. So because if he had not, if we were talking about a runoff, Donna, that'd be a national political story.
That would have been a big conversation.
But Bill knows this, and so do I. One of the truisms in politics is the hardest thing to do is to unseat an incumbent United States senator. It's harder than getting elected president.
And they proved that tonight.
And absolutely.
Very much.
Okay, let's talk about Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I am wondering, is it her, she's loved by Arkansas, by Republicans in Arkansas anyway. Is it her platform, is it the Huckabee name, or is it the Trump factor?
I think it's a little bit of everything. It's a big stew there. I think there a lot of Republicans in Arkansas grew close to her, watching her be the White House press secretary and doing battle with the White House press corps. A lot of people remember growing up here in Arkansas. I mean, she's literally grown up in front of our eyes. And then, you know, her linkage to Trump, and then her linkage to her father, too, who was also a popular governor. So you put all that together, and it's a very formidable political force, big time.
Let's talk about Chris Jones making history tonight. This is a big win for him. What does he need to do in order to win in November, or do you even think it's possible? Grant.
Well, I won't say that anything is impossible, and you'd be silly to in this game. He's got a uphill battle, just based on money, if nothing else. But her name ID is strong. But Chris Jones just may be the guy that lightning strikes.
Why do you say that?
Because he's an incredible candidate. He is so smart, has a real vision for Arkansas, and is ready to articulate that for the people of this state. And, you know, I mean, to take a page out of the Huckabee playbook, he's got that ministerial background, and he makes very easy connections with people out on the trail.
Real quickly, Sarah Huckabee Sanders kind of criticized for not really focusing in this campaign on Arkansas.
Yeah.
What has she done to let folks in Arkansas who are struggling know that she's really on their side and she's going to make a difference in their lives?
Well, I do think, listen, she's been unabashed about, yes, these are national issues. Arkansas is affected by national issues. And I think more and more you see the average Arkansan, the average citizen, understanding what comes out of Washington affects them in their day-to-day life. And so I think her understanding of those issues, the broader, bigger issues and how they affect the country, I think that's a real advantage for her as she moves forward, because at the end of the day, what comes out of Washington through the bureaucracy or through the administration, that has a major impact here, and it has to be dealt with by our governor and by our leadership here.
Okay, all right. We're going to talk with you both again. Hold that thought, Grant, because I can tell you were getting ready to say something. Kevin, we're going to send it over to you as we close out the break.
Certainly a lot to talk about, a lot of history being made tonight, so we are far from being done. Our election night coverage continues after this break. Neil Zarang and Gary Burton Jr. are live following the very heated U.S. Senate race, which we still have plenty to talk about as it pertains to that. Our team coverage continues next right here on Fox 16.